name is Susan Boyle. I'm nearly 48, and that's just one side of me. I come from Blackburn near Bathgate, West Lothian. Currently unemployed, but still looking. I've been a carer for my mother though for 2 years, and I'm going to sing for you on Britain's Got Talent today.
She stunned the world with a voice that defied every expectation, transforming from an unlikely contestant into a global sensation overnight. But what happens when the spotlight fades? Susan Boyle's journey took a dramatic turn. What seemed like a fairy tale success masked battles with health, family turmoil, and personal resilience few knew about. Have you ever wondered why someone with such talent suddenly disappears from the public eye? Susan's story is a testament to courage beyond the stage, proof that life's toughest trials often lurk behind the brightest moments. Health battles and setbacks. Susan Boyle's incredible rise to fame was shadowed by ongoing health struggles that few fully understood at first. In 2012, she was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, a condition on the autism spectrum that explained many of her lifelong challenges with social interaction and sensory sensitivities. For Susan, this diagnosis was both a revelation and a relief, providing clarity about why she often struggled in social settings and why she experienced the world differently. It marked the beginning of a journey toward better self-understanding and management. Beyond Asperger's, Susan had battled epilepsy from a young age, a condition that was often misunderstood by those closest to her. She suffered seizures regularly during her school years, which unfortunately became a source of bullying and exclusion. Despite doctors correctly diagnosing her epilepsy, the lack of proper support from family and educators meant the condition was often untreated or misunderstood, amplifying her isolation and making her childhood more difficult. Her health battles were compounded by the unfair assumption that her epilepsy was tied to her learning difficulties, a misconception that delayed the help she truly needed. As she embraced fame, Susan's health issues did not take a back seat. Her demanding performance schedule and media obligations added strain to both her physical and mental well-being. Exhaustion from intense training and touring contributed to her becoming physically frail, leading to hospital admissions shortly after the Britain's Got Talent finale. Despite her talent and success, she faced the harsh reality that managing her health was crucial to continuing her career. In 2013, Susan was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, a condition that introduced new challenges to her daily life and lifestyle choices. She had to adjust to managing her diet, medication, and overall health with more care. The diagnosis meant giving up some simple pleasures, including her love for chocolate, adding a personal struggle to her already complex health narrative. These conditions required discipline and radically changed her routines, influencing the kinds of performances she could maintain. The pandemic years brought fresh challenges because they created new obstacles which required people to find different solutions. To protect herself from COVID-19 due to her health vulnerabilities, Susan had to retreat from much of the public eye and pause her recording plans. She needed to isolate herself during this time because her medical condition required her to make career decisions throughout her professional life. The breaks she took because of safety concerns interrupted her progress. Yet, they demonstrated to her that she should prioritize her health needs. Susan experienced her most severe health problems when she suffered a small stroke in 2022, which showed people that her strong voice and public image protected her from health issues. She described her recovery process, which included her intensive speech therapy that helped her regain her ability to sing after the incident. Her return to the stage after experiencing a major setback demonstrated exceptional bravery, which made her more lovable to audiences because she showed strength that extended beyond her musical abilities. Susan kept performing because she wanted to connect with her audience through her dedication and determination to continue on stage despite her health problems. She chose to appear less often because her health condition required her to manage her time better, which helped her maintain a healthy lifestyle. The way she managed her career during her health problems showed she had learned to balance professional growth with understanding human limitations. Susan's health problems show how hidden battles exist for people who become famous because the world believes their abilities protect them from experiencing human weaknesses. The journey of her life shows how health and public life and personal development meet together, which demonstrates how people can overcome challenges to achieve their goals. Susan's story of health and healing sets the stage for understanding the deeply personal dynamics that shaped her life beyond the spotlight. Sudden rise and global fame. Susan Boyle's ascent to worldwide stardom took the world by storm almost overnight. When she stepped onto the Britain's Got Talent stage in 2009, few expected much from the unassuming woman with plain clothes and a quiet demeanor. But when she opened her mouth to sing "I Dreamed a Dream," her powerful voice silenced the audience and judges alike, instantly turning her into a viral sensation. Overnight, she became a symbol of surprises, proof that talent can emerge from the most unlikely corners. Her audition video quickly gained millions of views on YouTube, becoming one of the most watched clips of its time. The story behind Susan's sudden fame was compelling. Here was a woman who had lived a modest, often difficult life, now captivating millions with a voice few could ignore. Despite finishing second on the show, the impact was enormous. Susan's debut album, also titled "I Dreamed a Dream," shattered records, selling over 2 million copies worldwide in its first week alone. This made it the fastest-selling debut album by a female artist ever in the United Kingdom. Susan's story inspired people across the globe because it challenged expectations about age, appearance, and potential. Unlike typical pop stars groomed from a young age, she was nearly 50 when she burst onto the music scene, reminding everyone that opportunity can knock at any point in life. Her wealth eventually surpassed $45 million, a remarkable leap from her humble beginnings. Yet, amid the glitz and glamour, there was an undercurrent of mystery. Susan's disappearance from the public eye after this meteoric rise puzzled many fans. What had happened to the woman who once seemed destined for non-stop success? The answer was layered and complex, revealing struggles behind the scenes that the public rarely saw. The first stage of her fame created overwhelming pressure, which only a few individuals could handle. The combination of media scrutiny and exhausting schedules and distant relationships created a different impression about her than the viewers initially observed. Susan maintained her grounded nature because she preferred to stay at her childhood home instead of staying in the vibrant areas which composed the music business. The selection implied that he had significant reasons, which would remain hidden until later times. Her career ended because she encountered health problems and personal issues which created obstacles in her life. The sudden shift from her previous existence brought about huge changes for a woman who had spent many years silently taking care of her ailing mother. Her body required her to stop because she experienced extreme fatigue and mental health issues and medical conditions. The case of Susan proves that fame exists as a brief phenomenon which causes people to lose interest in others. She performed on stage for an international audience at one moment before she needed to address personal health matters outside of public view. The enforced withdrawal from public life created a new beginning, which developed into a silent period that showed her strength to endure through difficult times. The questions raised by Susan's unexpected withdrawal from fame set the stage for exploring her remarkable background and the hidden challenges she overcame long before the cameras ever caught her voice. Early life and hidden challenges. Susan Boyle's path to the spotlight was shaped by a childhood filled with hardship and misunderstanding. Born on April 1, 1961, in West Lothian, Scotland, she grew up as the youngest of 10 siblings in a modest council house. Her father was a miner who loved to sing, and her mother worked as a shorthand typist. Despite this musical backdrop, Susan's early years were marked by physical and educational challenges that many overlooked. From birth, Susan faced medical difficulties. The delivery was nearly life-threatening, and she briefly suffered oxygen deprivation, which later was believed to contribute to her learning disabilities. School offered little comfort. She was relentlessly bullied and punished, with teachers using belts as discipline for her academic struggles. Peers called her Susie Simple, and cruel taunts followed her daily. For many children, such treatment would crush confidence, but Susan found solace in music. particularly through singing in her parish church choir. Her learning differences remained undiagnosed for years. She was considered a slow learner, often falling behind in a system that valued speed and quick comprehension. Meanwhile, unknown to many, she suffered from epilepsy, experiencing seizures during school hours, which only invited more ridicule. Her parents and teachers didn't know how to handle her condition appropriately, sometimes dismissing her needs or being overprotective in ways that left her isolated. The limited qualifications Susan obtained through her graduation led to her difficulty in securing permanent job opportunities which she needed. She worked through multiple government training initiatives while taking on short-term positions, including her 6-month experience as a trainee cook. Yet, she could not secure any permanent employment. Music remained her safe space throughout her difficult times because it offered her relief from the demanding situations which she encountered throughout her life. She sang at local talent shows, which allowed her to demonstrate her abilities, but she did not expect people to recognize her until her mother passed away. The year 2007 marked the death of her mother, which became the pivotal moment of Susan's life. Susan had dedicated her life to caring for her mother until her death, and following that event, her family convinced her to pursue her long-standing dream of auditioning for Britain's Got Talent. She took a leap of faith, which brought her to a completely new environment that contrasted with her previous experience. The Scottish Council housegirl planned to demonstrate her hidden power to the entire world. Susan's various life experiences from her childhood show how she maintained her determination to achieve success, despite facing both misunderstanding and neglect. The story portrays her ability to overcome challenging situations through the combination of her natural talent and her capacity to persist in difficult times. In this light, her iconic audition takes on new meaning, not only as a moment of musical triumph, but as a declaration of personal victory. Breakthrough on Britain's Got Talent. When Susan Boyle walked onto the stage in Glasgow to audition for Britain's Got Talent in 2009, the atmosphere was filled with curiosity and skepticism. Her appearance, simple clothes, unassuming demeanor, led many to underestimate her. However, the moment she began singing "I Dreamed a Dream" from Les Miserables, those preconceptions shattered instantly. The choir girl's voice soared with raw emotional power, moving judges and audiences alike to their feet. Amanda Holden called it the biggest wake-up call ever, capturing the surprise and awe that radiated through the room. The judges, the crowd, and millions of viewers at home were entranced by the contrast between Susan's modest exterior and her breathtaking talent. The video quickly went viral, eventually becoming the most-watched audition clip on YouTube at the time, drawing attention from celebrities such as Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, who publicly praised her. Though she finished as the runner-up, her only defeat coming from Diversity, the dance group, the public's affection for Susan was immense and genuine. Her story became a beacon of hope for those who had been overlooked or underestimated, proving that dreams really can come true regardless of age or background. Her debut album didn't just sell copies, it shattered records, claiming the title of fastest-selling debut by a female artist ever in the UK. I need to rewrite the statement because it has a confusing structure which requires me to use simple language that lets me maintain the original content together with all HTML elements. The complete success of her career brought her two different types of challenges. Susan experienced two different types of exhaustion because she needed to handle the intense demands of her new public existence, which began when she received public recognition. The combination of her media work and interview schedule and touring responsibilities pushed her beyond her physical limits. Her work on the project brought her short-term recognition, which transformed her entire existence. The show performance showed her determination to fight against her former bullies and doubters. She created and sang songs which served as soft critics to those who failed to recognize her potential because she transformed her emotional suffering into artistic expression. The journey of Susan became a symbol for many people who wanted to achieve their goals by using their natural abilities and maintaining their composure during challenging situations. People developed a deep emotional connection with Susan because they experienced two things: her musical talent, and her genuine personality. She kept her modesty and authenticity after she became famous, which made her more appealing to fans from different parts of the world. Through her music, she keeps creating an impact, which leads to discussions about social acceptance and diversity, and the importance of giving people second chances. Susan's rise and early recognition reveal just part of a remarkable story, one that unfolds even further when we consider the obstacles she faced beyond the spotlight. Family dynamics and personal loss. Family has always played a central role in Susan Boyle's life, both as a source of support and as a challenge. Growing up as the youngest of 10 siblings, Susan was surrounded by a large family that experienced its share of hardship and complexity. After the death of her mother, Bridget, in 2007, Susan found herself as the caretaker and emotional anchor in her family, a role that shaped much of her adult life. Despite her later global fame, she chose to remain in her childhood home in West Lothian, finding comfort in familiarity and simplicity. Her family dynamic became strained following her success, as financial and relational tensions arose among her siblings. When Susan helped her brother Jerry by giving him a significant loan to save his business, it sparked conflict with other family members. Jerry's dramatic threat to harm himself if not supported by Susan deepened the rift, leading to public disputes and accusations. These painful episodes illustrated how sudden wealth and fame can bring not only opportunity but also family pressures and expectations. Throughout these turbulent times, Susan's sister Bridie stood as a steadfast supporter. Bridie helped shield Susan from media scrutiny and familial disputes, acting almost as a protective figure during the height of her success. Her death in 2015 from cancer was a devastating blow to Susan, removing a key source of emotional stability and companionship. Grieving this loss, Susan also took on responsibility for Bridie's daughter, adding another dimension to her role within the family. Despite the ups and downs, Susan's choice to stay close to her roots, remaining in the same home where she was raised, reflects her deep connection to where she came from. Neighbors recall how, following her mother's passing, Susan retreated inward, sometimes going several days without answering her phone or door. This retreat underscores the complex blend of strength and vulnerability that defines her personality. Her Roman Catholic faith and dedication to her church community provide further insight into her values and resilience. Susan actively participates in her parish choir and volunteers to visit elderly members, actions that root her in service and humility despite international fame. These simple acts reveal a grounded woman who finds purpose beyond the stage or spotlight. In her personal life, Susan has openly discussed her modesty and selflessness, famously stating during her Britain's Got Talent journey that she had never been married nor kissed. Her romantic life remains private, although rumors and reports suggest a stable relationship with an American man who accompanies her on special occasions. For Susan, privacy and personal contentment have taken precedence over publicized relationships or marriage, highlighting her preference for a quiet, meaningful life. The intersection of family loyalty and personal loss has shaped much of Susan's emotional world. The blending of love, sacrifice, and sometimes conflict reveals a woman deeply invested in those closest to her, even when it meant facing difficult decisions and hardships behind the scenes. Susan's health struggles and family trials together paint a poignant picture of the challenges that shaped her life offstage, bringing us closer to understanding the full story behind the star. Coping with fame and mental health, Susan Boyle's sudden rise to global stardom brought with it an overwhelming wave of public attention that proved difficult to manage. Although she embraced her success with grace, the relentless media scrutiny and demanding schedule took a toll on her mental and emotional health. Interviews, photo shoots, and constant public appearances pushed her far beyond the quiet life she had known, leaving her exhausted and vulnerable. Fame was a new experience that required her to adapt quickly, but the rapid pace and intense spotlight were often unforgiving. The pressure to maintain a perfect image and relentless performance schedule contributed to moments of deep strain. After the Britain's Got Talent finale, Susan faced significant exhaustion and began to falter under the weight of expectations. Rumors circulated about her lashing out at show staff, and an incident where water was thrown during a confrontation, revealing a side of Susan struggling to cope with the intense situation. These struggles culminated in a breakdown, leading to her admission to a mental health facility. This candid moment revealed that beneath her calm exterior, Susan was fighting unseen battles. Criticism from the public and the media added to her mental health challenges. Despite widespread admiration, Susan was not immune to harsh judgments, often sparked by her appearance or perceived eccentricities. Such scrutiny compounded the difficulty of adjusting to a life where every action was magnified. Yet, she managed to maintain her authenticity, refusing to conform wholly to public expectations. This resilience earned her respect from fans who saw not just a singer, but a woman bravely navigating complexities few could understand. The experience taught Susan to reassess how she approached her career and health. She recognized the importance of pacing herself and setting boundaries, although this proved challenging with tightly booked tours and album promotions. The grueling schedule was difficult to slow down, yet taking care of her mental health became an essential part of her survival in the industry. This balance between passion for music and self-care remains a fundamental lesson from her journey through fame. Periods of retreat followed intense bursts of activity as Susan sought to recharge and protect her well-being. These breaks allowed her to reconnect with the parts of her life that brought peace, her family, faith, and quiet routines. As she stepped back from constant public exposure, she found strength in simpler pleasures and a support system that understood her needs. This rhythm of performance and rest shaped much of her later career. Susan used her desired platform to discuss mental health issues and neurodiversity matters while she worked to eliminate stigmas and promote compassion toward people with different experiences. Her honest disclosure of her Asperger's diagnosis and her anxiety difficulties brought about a vital discussion about social acceptance and comprehension. She turned her life difficulties into positive messages, which empowered her fans to cope with their own problems. Her public image gained additional depth through her ability to present herself as a human being who exists beyond her status as a celebrity. She demonstrated her strong determination through her capability to return to the stage after experiencing both mental and physical health challenges. Fans viewed a performer who maintained her authentic voice while dealing with multiple demanding situations. The audience honored every performance return because it brought both musical content and displays of personal bravery. The world learned about Susan's ongoing fight through her personal narrative, which showed that recovery exists as a continuous journey rather than a single endpoint. People who experience sudden fame while dealing with delicate mental health issues face a problem that others do not recognize because they get captivated by the allure of being a celebrity. Susan discovered her boundaries through the journey, which showed her ability to continue fighting for her way of life. The story shows how success brings hidden challenges, which people need to treat with compassion and protective care. As her public activity fluctuated, Susan embraced a quieter life in many ways, preparing for chapters yet to unfold with both caution and hope. Later, career and private life. Following the initial whirlwind of fame, Susan Boyle's career took on a different shape, marked by periods of music making interspersed with retreats to personal space. She released several albums after her debut, including The Gift in 2010 and Someone to Watch Over Me in 2011, showcasing her consistent dedication to her craft. Despite health challenges and personal losses, Susan continued to find joy in music, delivering performances that connected deeply with audiences worldwide. Her 2012 festive album, Standing Ovation, The Greatest Songs from the Stage, and later albums such as Hope in 2014 and A Wonderful World in 2016 revealed an artist committed to exploring diverse musical styles. These works enjoyed commercial success, though Susan herself often remained modest about her achievements. Her voice, imbued with the same emotional rawness that made her famous, continued to inspire fans who admired both her talent and humility. In recent years, Susan took an indefinite break from regular touring, citing health concerns and the natural toll of age. Many fans wondered if her career was concluding, but in 2019, she surprised the music community by releasing 10, a compilation celebrating a decade of her best work. This album was a testament to her enduring appeal and ability to defy expectations once again. It underscored that while the pace might have slowed, her passion and connection to music remained alive. Susan chose to live a basic existence that stayed out of public attention. She chose to return to her West Lothian childhood home instead of selecting luxurious houses or high-status lifestyles. Her existence at present shows her fundamental beliefs, which she upholds through her quest for ordinary life after her extended period facing public scrutiny. Her local community ties and 10-year-old cat Pebbles form the basis of her everyday existence. Public scrutiny has kept Susan's personal life hidden from others who maintain their privacy through appropriate behavior. Media sources reported that she is now in a stable relationship with an American partner who stays out of the public eye, while she has not shared much about her dating experiences. She does not want to get married because she prefers to form deep relationships which bring her happiness. The woman who chooses to stay out of the public eye demonstrates her need for private time while she protects her emotional safety from public attention. Susan uses faith as her fundamental life principle. She practices Roman Catholicism through active participation in her church community, which includes singing in the choir and doing volunteer work. She uses these two spiritual activities to find peace and purpose that exists beyond her musical responsibilities. Her faith provides her with essential support during her health problems and her grief, plus her experience with public recognition. Her health condition keeps affecting her professional decisions. Susan follows a dual approach between her sleep needs and her artistic work. After sustaining a stroke in 2022 and managing her diabetes and epilepsy, the pandemic years proved to be a critical time period because they showed her need for protection, which resulted in her public activities becoming less frequent. She shows her loyalty to music and her audience through every performance which she selects with great care. Susan's journey from public triumph to private resilience reveals a profound balance between fame and self-preservation, reminding us all of the enduring power found in honesty and heart. Legacy and lessons from Susan Boyle. Susan Boyle's story is one that transcends the music industry, offering powerful lessons about resilience, authenticity, and the unpredictability of life. From the shy girl bullied in school to a global singing sensation, she taught millions that success does not always come from youth, beauty, or privilege, but from heart and perseverance. Her legacy challenges societal norms about talent and appearance, reminding us never to judge a book by its cover. Her record-breaking debut album set new standards that many expected would launch a non-stop career filled with global tours and hit records. Yet, Susan's journey was far more complex, shaped by personal health battles and a need for balance that many stars never face publicly. In doing so, she opened up conversations about the realities behind fame, mental health, and the pressures that come with overnight success. Susan's openness about her Asperger's diagnosis and struggles with epilepsy helped destigmatize neurodiversity and chronic illness in the public eye. She became a figure of hope for those facing similar challenges, showing it is possible to pursue dreams despite obstacles. Her willingness to share her story inspired greater compassion and understanding toward people often misunderstood or marginalized. Her choice to live simply in her childhood home, rather than chase the trappings of fame, speaks volumes about her values. It is a quiet rebellion against the celebrity culture that often demands constant reinvention and public spectacle. By embracing her roots and maintaining privacy, Susan highlights how true success can be measured in personal contentment and meaningful connections rather than applause alone. The lasting success of her theatrical ballads and personal anthems demonstrates her ability to attract listeners throughout all time periods. Susan's singing continues to touch listeners from different age groups and cultural backgrounds throughout the world. Her exceptional ability to connect with people through her work becomes her permanent gift, which continues to matter in an entertainment industry that undergoes constant transformations. Susan's life demonstrates how fame remains unstable while artists require access to mental health resources. Her struggles with breakdowns and exhaustion and her need for hospitalization show us that talent needs both support and understanding to thrive. Performers can now expect better wellness resources because people understand their human nature better than before. Susan Boyle leaves behind a diverse legacy which presents her as an adversity victor through her neurodiversity advocacy and her personal capacity to inspire others. The story of her life shows that every major vocal talent begins with a personal journey which involves fighting through tough times to become a better person. Susan Boyle's journey is a moving story of talent, struggle, and resilience that inspires us to look beyond appearances and embrace our uniqueness. Her legacy teaches that success is deeply personal and that perseverance can transform lives at any age. If you found her story as inspiring as we did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories that touch the heart and broaden the mind.